The Bay Area's rock station, 107.7 The Bone.
I can almost guarantee an awesome show tonight at Tommy T's in Pleasanton. Pat Travers, 2 shows, 7 and 9:30 tonight. In a few minutes, we'll give away a couple of tickets.
You can almost guarantee it. I can absolutely guarantee
All
it.
right, look at that. An endorsement, ladies and gentlemen. When I spoke to you at Bone Bash, you told me you were into what type of martial arts?
It's Okinawan. It's called Ishin-ryu is the style. It's a combination of Shorin-ryu, Gojo-ryu, and Kabuto, which is the weapons, the bow staff, and the sai.
Are you a fan of the mixed martial arts, the cage fighting, that kind of thing at all?
No, not at all.
So this is more forms. You're not.
We do have to fight. We had a black guy. One of our black belts went up in rank to second degree and Nidan, they call it, and to do that he had to spar with some black belts, and so I had to fight last Wednesday, and that was full contact, no protection, nothing. And I've got a few bruises on me.
Look at you.
Yeah. But it's great. I've started to get the other guys into it a little bit. It's not easy. Physically, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Really?
But
work at it every day?
Yeah, every day.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have a
black
teacher?
Belt. Yeah.
You're a black belt.
I'm a black belt, yeah.
Look at you,
Been
Pat
a black
Travers.
belt for a year, just over a year, and next September I'll test for my second degree black belt.
I
have
am
to wait 2 years.
Very impressed with you. Yeah. That is spectacular. So that's how you keep in shape physically and I'll bet mentally
Absolutely.
too.
There's a lot.
It's got to be
a lot to learn. There's a lot to remember. It's choreography as well. You know, it's very precise movements, and in these, they're called katas, the forms, and you know, you have to do these very precise movements. They're like imaginary fights against invisible opponents. But
sounds like a lifelong project.
It is. It's absolutely a lifelong.
I'll bet it keeps you centered.
Yeah, it does, and it just, you know, it gives me. Well, the trip to Europe, without it, you know, would have drove me nuts. But I can always go, hey, I can do this workout or do this or that, or, you know, once you've done a belt testing, just about anything is easy compared to that.
What is the name once again?
Ishin-ryu.
Ishin-ryu.
It means one heart way. Yeah.
Back to your new CD, Stick With What You Know, live in Europe, Pat Travers, a Robert Johnson song.
Yeah, I started to get into Robert Johnson for real a couple of years ago. I started really concentrating on playing bottleneck slide guitar, and so I got all of his, went out and got a couple of CDs and spent a lot of time listening to him, and this one particular song I really enjoyed.
Was he a real original, or did he have influences?
He had influences, without a doubt, and there was the one guy that apparently influenced, I don't know if you know, I'm talking to Kirk here because he's our resident musicologist, Blind somebody or I can't remember. Yeah, he had somebody that he got it from, but then he had his own. If there's only a couple of pictures of him that exist, but there's this one where he's holding his guitar. His fingers are just twice as long as a regular human's fingers.
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, and he could just he's doing like 3 different parts on the guitar, and also playing in a different, not a different time signature, but a different. He'll be singing in a shuffle, but playing straight 4s on the guitar. It's really bizarre, and initially, you know, it kind of sounds confusing and not that good, but then once you start to get used to listening to it, you know. Plus, you have to go to the internet to figure out what the lyrics are, because it's impossible to understand what he says.
If I had possession over Judgment Day,
that little woman I'm loving wouldn't have no right to pray.
As played by Pat Travers on his brand new live album, Stick With What You Know. It's 107.7 The Bone.
107.7 The Bone.
Streaming online at 1077thebone.com.